Chat GPT is your best friend. Think about having a really smart, genius like friend in your corner that you can text any time and they will have a rapid answer, the most genius like answer you could imagine. ChatGPT is that friend, right? And there's a free version, but you only get 10 tries, 10 prompts every couple hours. But there are other platforms you can use. Once you tap out ChatGPT with the 10, you can use Claude AI, right? So tonight's live is for people who are struggling to read government contracts. Because if you prompt ChatGPT correctly or Claude AI, you can break a contract down into simple terms. I mean, to the point where you can break it down as if you were explaining it to a third or fourth grader to make it as simple as possible, right? It can help you navigate SAM.gov. It can help you draft capability statements, respond to RFPs, communicate with subcontractors, even organize your back office, right? ChatGPT is your friend. It's not going anywhere. Okay? It's around, it's going to stick where it is. You have to learn to utilize it, right? So for the people who are struggling to read government contracts, ChatGPT is where you want to be. It is your friend that you can text at any moment to get a rapid response. ChatGPT's brain never gets tired, never gets exhausted. You can prompt this thing 1,000 times in a day. And to be honest, you should be using AI at least 100 times a day. At least. It helps you to think rapidly. If you prompt it properly, it will give you an answer rapidly. Okay? It will break things down for you. So I'm just going to pick any contract, right? And I'm just going to show you. I'm going to take a section of the contract. I'm going to pick it out of thin air. And whatever section, we're going to copy and paste it and move it to ChatGPT because I use the free version, right? And every couple hours, it makes me reset. So what it'll do is it'll give me about 10 prompts. Then it'll tell me I've reached my max limit. Then I'll move to Claude AI and start utilizing Claude AI. Um, if you're struggling to read contracts, ChatGPT is going to help you. And it's just about prompting it correctly. Maybe saying things like, explain to me on a fourth grade level what government contracting is. And it will give you a clear understanding instead of all this jargon. I know that contracts can be tough when it's time to read them, right? So let me pull up Claude. I'm also going to pull up SAM.gov too. Just give me 1 second. Because I'm going to show you that reading these bids are a lot easier than you may actually think, right? And ChatGPT, like I said, the brain does not get tired. This thing goes consistently over and over and over again, right? Oh, I don't have my phone with me. I'll pull up New York State. You should be using AI at least 50 to 100 times per day. It can help you build system strategies. It can help you write proposals, read proposals. I mean, anything that you can think of, right? So let me share my screen. And you don't have to have the paid version. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's $19.99 to have the paid version, and that give you like unlimited amounts of prompts, right? You can prompt anything you want at any time, but if you're using the free version, you only get 10. So I'm going to start here. This is New York State Contract Reporter, and I'm just going to look for a bid really quick. I'm going to pick one out of thin air. There's nothing that I'm looking for in particular, but I want it to make sense. Something that might be a little bit more complicated to understand. Bike share services. All right, this one. Purchase one Scorpion rail car, right? So this procurement What I want to do is I want to pull up the document, right? We know the agency, the division. I'm looking for the actual document. Now, some of these, we need a third party. There might be a third party website. So let's look at something that we can actually find the document. I'm a little late tonight too because my daughter had a championship softball game that she kicked butt in. Literally, it was 9-0 and they won. So I'm a little behind, but no worries. I'm still excited to be here. All right. Oh, that's for a service. These are all the ones that came out today. All right, let's look at the last 7 days. I just want one that has a document on it. All right, site improvements. That's a good one. Does this one have a document? Okay, specifications and contract documents. So this one is for site improvements at an Old Stone Meeting House in, I don't even know how to pronounce that, Upper Nyack Village Office. So let's pull this up. All bids with all agencies look different. Whew, this one has 147 pages. All right, so obviously a little bit intimidating. Okay, make it a little bit bigger. All right, so right off the bat, it's just simple information, right? But it's going to get into, it's going to get really deep because this has 147 pages. And I'm not going to sit here and read all of this, but ChatGPT is going to help me. I'm going to prompt it correctly to the point where it can give me answers to where I can understand in the way it explains it to me, right? Are you done? Oh, go ahead, babe. No, don't. It's okay. Don't deal with any of that. I'm on live right now, and I will get with you in a second. Goodbye. Um, Copies of plans. Some of the font that they use drives me crazy. Literally will give you a headache, right? So receipt of opening bids. Let me go down a little bit further because all of this I would read. That's like the statement of work. This right here. When you start talking about like labor laws and um, medical insurance, benefits, life insurance on government contracts, I cannot keep my eyes open, right? I want ChatGPT to explain to me what all of this means in simplest terms so I don't have to read this word for word. I cannot sit here and read an entire contract. Right here, it starts to get every laborer, worker, and mechanic employed by the contractor. Like things like this, you can prompt compliance with labor laws. I would prompt ChatGPT, literally. I would stop right here. I would copy and paste it if it cooperates, right? Okay. um, okay. Copy. I'm gonna just drop that away. I'm gonna go right to ChatGPT and I'm gonna say, I'm gonna prompt it. Explain to me what this information means in the simplest terms possible so that a third grader could understand. Then I'm going to paste everything. So I prompted it, explain to me what this information means in the simplest terms possible so that a third grader could understand. Then I put all the information that I copy and pasted from the contract and I'll click submit, right? All this information that I just pasted, it just broke it down as simple as possible. So let's see what it came up with, right? Here's a super simple explanation on that paragraph. like if you're explaining to a third grader, because I want you to explain it in simplest terms. I don't want it to be complicated all over the place. So if a company gets a job from the government, like building a road or fixing a building, they have to follow the rules about how they treat the people doing the work. Here are the main rules. Follow the law, don't overlook people, bad weather rule, fair pay and benefits. Everyone working must get paid the right amount and get benefits like health insurance, life insurance. So what it did was break down that entire section in the simplest form possible. And it did it in seconds. Okay. Workers can't work more than 8 hours a day or 5 days a week unless there's a big emergency like a fire or a flood. Okay. Do you see how ChatGPT just took something out of a contract, copy and pasted it, and gave us the most simple explanation for what that section meant? Now, if I had the paid version, I would do that throughout the entire contract. I literally would do that through the whole contract, right? Because it just broke it down in the most simplest. Oh, I lost it. Where did it go? So that's what the compliance with labor laws means. Basically, just means everything that we read here. What it means: simple, straight to the point. We don't have all day and all night to read contracts, right? Especially 147 pages worth, especially if you're doing it alone. You don't have time. This contract can literally take up to 2 days to read. 147 documents, right? And a lot of them are big. Now, this one is more aggressive. I'm not going to lie. This is a very big contract. That's a lot of documents. It's the jargon and the words that they use that kind of puts this fear, like, what does even some of this stuff means? Like, what does that mean? Chat GPT will tell you what it means, right? So let's find some more complicated stuff. So things like this: non-conclusive bidding certificate. What does that mean? Right? Because I see that term a lot and you will too. Okay, I know what it means, but if you're trying to figure out what it means, you're going to prompt it in Chat GPT. We're just going to take it all, the entire page. We're going to copy it and then paste it. All right, so now I'm going to prompt something different. I'm going to say something like, teach me what this text means as if I am understanding as a fifth grader trying to, I mean, there's so many different ways you can prompt it. Now I just pasted all that information. It's going to tell us what is non-conclusive bidding. Look at how fast ChatGPT just did that, right? What are you promising? When you sign this, you're promising 4 big things, right? So non-conclusive bidding certificate, that's just a fancy way of saying I promise I'm being fair and honest, right? So no sketchy stuff when I send my prices in my bid and try to win the government job. So basically, it's breaking it down. What are you promising when you're signing that document? You're promising that you came up with the price by yourself, didn't tell anyone else, no sketchy business. That is what non-conclusive means. I didn't try to cheat or stop others from bidding. I'm a company. I have permission to sign this paper. Okay. If you lie, you're in big trouble. Bottom line, I played fair. I didn't cheat. I didn't share prices, and no one told me what to bid. Now, that was super simple, right? But when you get over here, it doesn't look that simple. It looks like a mess, right? By submission of this bid, each bidder and each person signing on behalf of any bidder certifies. Just the text alone is driving me nuts. The font that they decided to use is driving me insane, and I'm not even I'm not even bidding on this contract. No attempt has been made or will be made by the bidder to induce any other person, partnership. This can all get mixed up. You want to try to comprehend these contracts, and they make the jargon hard to read, right? They make it like, oh my goodness, what does this mean? To the point where you're second guessing yourself. Use ChatGPT. He, she is your best friend, right? That's how you can make it easier on yourself. And at some point, chat's going to tell me, listen, you reached your limit for the day. You need to chill. And then I'm going to take it, I'm going to leave ChatGPT and I'm going to go to Claude AI. And I'm going to prompt that because you get a certain amount of um, prompts per day. I think it's every couple hours, and then it'll reset it. That just broke it down as simple as possible, right? So we'll go deeper. And a lot of these things I'm touching on, you will see in other contracts. Every contract I've bid on, I have seen non-conclusive bidding. You need to sign that. Why? To understand that you're not doing anything sketchy. Okay. All right, Marcus, no worries. Well, all right. So I don't know why I keep losing the document. Okay. So performance bond, this contract you actually have to pay to bid on. So I wouldn't bid on this. But this is just to show you that Chat GPT can really help you analyze a contract and break it down. All right, so performance bond. All right. Liquidated damages. The contractor shall pay to the owner for each and every day that he. Okay. I'm trying to find things that are more like you see in a lot of other contracts as well. Sample test, engineer status during construction. Looking for some different documents. Holy moly, this is a big one. Looking for some documents that, yeah, something like this. Because there's a lot of labor laws, looks like, with this contract, which is probably why it's so big. To all state departments, agency heads, and public benefit corporations, important notice regarding Public Work Enforcement Fund. This all just looks like a bunch of mumbo jumbo. I do not want to sit here and read this. I'm just going to take it straight to chat. Like, what does this even mean? DOL on all construction related contracts approved during the month, including contract amendments. Like, we're just going to break it down so that we understand it. We can sign the document and then move on. That's what you're trying to do here. You're trying to save yourself time to buy your time back. You don't want to sit around and read contracts all day because you cannot skip over reading. Because even when you're prompting Chat GPT, you still have to read what it's saying, right? All right, we'll do this one. So let me look at this. I'm going to tell it, think as a 50-year government contracting specialist. I'm prompting ChatGPT on how to react or what role to play, right? Think as a 50-year government contracting specialist. Create me an RFP explaining to the government how I am going to execute my next container project. Each container is 20 feet. Now it's all about how you prompt it, right? Each container is 20 feet, needs to be shipped via flatbed. We'll say 100 each. Simple, right? 100 is the quantity. Um, they must be shipped within 30 days. Please add things that the normal government agency wouldn't think of. So now you're asking it to add things like, please add things that the normal government wouldn't think of. So think outside of the box so that you can help them solve a solution. Maybe they ordered 100 containers and they don't understand that weather really plays a role. ChatGPT is going to help you put some things out in the air that you can think of that will make you look like you're an outside of the box thinker, right? So think as a 50-year government contracting specialist. Create me an RFP explaining to the government how I am going to execute my next container project. Each container is 20 feet, needs to be shipped via flatbed. 100 is the quantity. And they must be shipped within 30 days. Please add things that the normal government would not think of. Just like that. Crazy. Instantly. Company letterhead, subject, execution plan for container transportation project, solicitation number, project title, location, response date, even an introduction, right? It's writing me an RFP. Now, am I going to take this word for word? No, but it is going to help me based off the way that I prompt it. So, gave me an introduction, project understanding, transportation, 100 times 20-foot shipping containers. All containers need to be delivered. The more information you give it, the better understanding it has. It is artificial intelligence, right? The brain of AI does not slow down. It moves at a rapid pace. It never gets exhausted, and you should be prompting it day and night in any industry that you are in. But when you are struggling to read government contracts, AI is your friend. Okay, I cannot say that enough. It can cut the way you read a contract in half by a lot. Each container to be transported. It even talks about an execution strategy, operational plan, preload coordination. Logistical details, value added solutions, risk management. So this was what I'm talking about right here. It thought, because what I prompted it with, it thought about outside the box. So if I was working on a next container project, I would need to explain to the agency, hey, here's some things that you should think about that maybe didn't cross your mind when this container project, when these containers are being delivered. One thing that could happen is driver shortage, right? There could be some mechanical delays. There could be some out of control weather, equipment issues, just to get them thinking, okay, here's what could go wrong on this project. And it also makes you look like a solution provider because you need to know, you need to be able to explain, hey, in logistics, a lot of people don't think about weather. They don't think about drivers running out of time, hours of service. They don't think about a driver oversleeping when it's time to deliver. These are all things that you have to bring up, right? There's certain things you know about your industry that other people don't think of, okay? Past performance. I mean, they came up with the conclusion and all, okay? So this is what I mean when I tell you the way you read and prompt ChatGPT will help you. So that was for an RFP. Let's say that you wanted to communicate with a subcontractor. Here's another one. You find a subcontractor, you want to know, how do I communicate with this subcontractor? Once I find them, what do I even say to them? Right? It's like, I found a subcontractor. Now I pick up the phone and say, hi, my name is so and so. I would like a price, but how could I do it professionally, right? ChatGPT can pull up an entire script for you to be able to move back and forth and literally have a conversation with the subcontractor for you to get a quote, but make it seem like you are experienced and also professional, right? So write me an email to a subcontractor who I asked to quote me on a 20-foot container, shipping container, sorry, shipping container. Write me an email to a subcontractor who I asked. Oh, you know what? I'm going to put email/conversation. Write me an email/conversation to a subcontractor who I asked to quote me on a 20-foot shipping container. Ask them questions about the container and make the conversation professional but helpful for me to understand the quote better. I probably could have prompted that better. Let me see if that makes sense. Write me an email conversation to a subcontractor who I asked to quote me on a 20-foot shipping container. Ask them questions about the container and make the conversation professional but helpful for me to understand the quote better. Just prompt that. I probably could have prompted that better. That's just me being honest. All right, so it came up first with the email. I would copy and paste this whole thing after I read it. So it even gives you a subject line. Follow up on 20-foot shipping container. This just makes you look extremely professional. Thank you for sending over a quote for the container. I appreciate your time and effort in putting that together. To make sure I fully understand the details of your proposal, I have a few quick questions I'd like to clarify. Condition of the container, delivery charges, door type, flooring, modifications, payment terms, all things that you probably didn't think of, right? I'm looking to move forward quickly once I understand the full scope. Please let me know if a quick call would be better. I'm happy to connect. Look at how professional that looks. That looks like somebody who is about their business, right? Not just a, hey, can I get a quick quote on this item, that item, blah, blah, blah. No, you want to make it professional. And it didn't, it only gave me an email. So what am I going to say to it now? Okay, here's the conversation. So when you pick up the phone with the subcontractor, hey, my name is Deborah Smith. Thanks again for sending me the quote on the 20-foot shipping container. I just wanted to ask a few quick questions to make sure I understand everything before I move forward. It's even giving you a structure on how to have a conversation with the subcontractor. This tool is phenomenal. If you want to pay for it, you can. You will have unlimited prompts. If not, you're limited, but it is what it is, right? It's a conversation between you and the subcontractor. Now, a subcontractor might not necessarily respond this way, but at least you have something to start off with, right? Like, I would like to reach out to a subcontractor upcoming bid and obtain a quote on the service that they offer. How should I start the conversation and ask good questions to keep them talking and help me understand the service they offer better? Let's just say this is for ATVs. The quote is for an ATV. Maybe that'll make it like more clear. right here, conversation starter. I mean, that's just fantastic. You can read this. Who cares if it sounds like you're reading, right? At least you pick up the phone, you're professional, and now you know what to say. My name is Deborah. I'm from DD Logistics. I'm currently preparing a response for an upcoming government bid. I came across your business. I'm interested in getting a quote and learning more about the services you offer related to ATVs. Could you tell me a little bit about what ATV services or equipment you provide? After that, zip, that's it. Let them talk and explain to you, because subcontractors, they're really good at what they do, a lot of them, and they will help you understand better the product and services that they offer. So if you continue to talk to them after the fact, right, here are some follow-up questions that you can ask to keep them talking and to learn more. If they sell or lease ATVs, I mean, this could be a 30, 40-minute conversation, right? And you have to think about it. You're talking to somebody who you can potentially win a contract with, and you guys could be working together in the future. This is helping you build a relationship with them. You're asking them questions like, are your ATVs new, used, or available? Do you offer any kind of bulk pricing? Um, how fast is your average turnaround time? Just things to get them to keep talking about their company and to get you to understand that this might be the best fit for you or it might not be, right? This is a great question. How long is the quote valid for, right? So ChatGPT thought of that, which is good because a lot of contracts are pending. You'll bid on something July 16th and you might not hear back until August 15th, September 15th. You have to make sure that these quotes are valid for more than 2 days, right? You have to explain to these subcontractors, hey, this quote has to be valid for 30 to 60 days. Can you make that happen? Can you help me make sure that this is valid, right? And you should have some kind of CRM system too, where you can record conversations. So when a subcontractor tells you something like, oh, yeah, we can hold the quote for 30 to 60 days, that conversation is professionally being recorded, right? I have a CRM when the customer picks up the phone, but my CRM will automatically tell them, hey, this call is being recorded for training purposes. They have the option to stay on or leave. Okay. So when you're talking to subcontractors, you should be recording the conversation for training purposes and to be able to go back on the conversation and be able to listen to things that they said, right? And listen to how you responded. Because if you're listening and you're communicating, with your ears, you will get better. Um, so these are follow-up questions. And then just wrap it up professionally. You can close the first conversation with something like, thanks so much for taking the time to walk me through that. I'm gathering quotes now and would love to work with you if we're awarded the bid. Once I review everything on my end, I'll follow up. Now, some people are going to ask things like, some people are going to ask things like, is this a government contract? Okay. It is completely up to you if you want to disclose that information. Sometimes subcontractors will know if it's a government contract based on what you're asking to be quoted. If you're asking them to quote something that's like very detailed, very specific. The one time I bid it on 4 snowmobiles in an area that was like very in the middle of nowhere. It was just like mountains. And I called the subcontractor and they immediately knew based off the model, manufacturer number, that this was a government contract. And they let me know, hey, we're going to be bidding on this project too. So what role do you play? Is this a government contract? When they ask you that, 9 times out of 10, they know that it's a government contract. If they're saying that, because there's big companies out here who bid, right? Like I notice it happens a lot with product contracts, not so much services, but product contracts, it happens a lot. Okay. I hear people say, I told you the story where the guy told me flat out, hey, we're going to win this contract. And neither one of us won. right? So that's why it's good to do research too, because you want to know who's bidding on these projects. Um, so understanding ChatGPT is amazing, right? So let's say you wanted to find a subcontractor on a project. What was the one that we were looking at? Site improvements. Let's take this information right here, copy, paste, and then I'm going to go back to it. All right. I'm going to take the location too, because I'm going to have ChatGPT pull me up 5 subcontractors in the area that work in that area. Okay, site improvements at the Old Stone Meeting House. All right, let me put Upper Nyack, New York. Pull up 5 companies who offer this service in this area. Right now, it's about to pull up within seconds. 5 subcontractors in that area that you can reach out and call. Look at how fast it did it, right? It gave us 5. Here are 5 reputable local firms that offer site improvement, landscaping, and related services around Upper Nyack suitable for work at the Old Stone Meeting House. Right there. 5 subcontractors in seconds. Okay? If you're not familiar with AI, please get familiar with it, because it is going to help you grow at a rapid pace. Okay, you can call each one of these companies and explain to them what the statement of work is and have 5 separate quotes in one day, right? I mean, look at how fast it pulled up 5 subcontractors in that area. This is a phenomenal tool. It is smart. It does not get exhausted. It is artificial intelligence. Learn how to prompt it correctly, and it will read the entire contract for you. Now, if you're trying to read a 147-page document, I recommend paying for the version that's unlimited. But if you see right here, if you look right here, it just told me you hit the free plan limit for the day. Responses will use another model until your limit resets tomorrow after 12 a.m. So 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, it's going to kick me off for 4 hours because I don't pay for the services. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to Claude AI, ChatGPT sister. And I'm gonna use Claude, because Claude's gonna give me the boot too. And then after that, I find like other AI tools, but my 2 favorite ones are Chat and Claude, right? Um, so what? Let me see here. We were on a certain topic. Oh, subcontractors. All right, let's do this one. Think as if you were an expert in the SAM.gov system. How would you apply for a cage code and obtain it quickly so that you could start bidding on government contracts right away? All right, so look at how I prompted it. I want AI to think as if they are an expert in SAM.gov. Now that it knows it has to think that way, how would you apply for a cage code and obtain it quickly so that you could start bidding on government contracts right away? It's going to give you an entire breakdown for you to get your cage code as quick as possible, right? It's already telling me immediate steps. These are the immediate steps you need to start with. Here's a fast track strategy, typical timeline, Start bidding preparation and key points within seconds. Okay? People don't have good things to say about AI, but it is the future, whether people like it or not. It's not going anywhere. If anything, it's just going to grow at a rapid pace. This is why. These kinds of tools can make it easy for you to win a government contract, to put an RFQ, RFP proposal together. The only thing I wouldn't prompt it for is pricing, right? If I'm pricing a contract, I want to talk to the actual subcontractor. I don't like to give it dollar sign amounts. I don't like to talk to it about data and analytics, right? I don't like to say things like, you know, help me price an ATV in the Buffalo, New York area with a 13% margin on it. That's something that I can do myself. What I needed to do is understand that I needed to build a proposal. Teach me how to sign up for SAM.gov. Communicate with subcontractors, because in the beginning of my career in government contracting, I really didn't know how, like, what to say when I picked up the phone. I spent some time cold calling in my logistics career, but with a subcontractor, I had to prompt ChatGPT to teach me what to say to a subcontractor so I don't sound unprofessional when I pick up the phone, right? This tool is very helpful. Okay, Claude AI is free as well, but it's going to give me the boot too. It's going to tell me to get off in a minute when I start prompting like a when I start prompting like a psychopath, right? So another thing you can use it for is let me see. I mean, that broke it down immediately. The cage code is automatically assigned during your system. You can't get a cage code separately. Gathered these documents first. I mean, fast track strategy, use the expedited registration process. Typical timeline is 7 to 10 business days. I mean, this thing is like, this tool is like having an employee in the next room. You can prompt it to do anything. Okay. So let me think of, there was a couple topics I wanted to touch on. One was navigate SAM.gov. Another one was, oh, capability statements. Okay. All right. So think as a 40-year experienced capability statement creator. Create me a capability statement that I can use at networking events, explaining that I might have been able to prompt this one better too. Explaining that I offer logistic services in Buffalo, New York. Let them know I am MWBE certified, have one and I am looking to offer solutions to the problems they have. All right, this is capability statement. This is the one you use for your outreach. Now, you can get a good amount of words in here, right? You can get a good amount of words. Like you see, I just took something from one contract and I posted it in this box. I think you can get, I mean, I'm talking a lot of words you can copy and paste. Like, look at this thing go. It literally just wrote me a whole capability statement. I am fascinated by what ChatGPT can do for your business in government contracting, right? So what I would do is find a template, shift all of this information you see here to that template and create a capability statement right away. Now, it's funny too because I'm okay. So based off of what I prompt, right? ChatGPT and Claude AI, they know me. right? They know that I'm a logistics company. They know the name of my company. They know that I pivoted from logistics to government contracting. It is building a profile on me. It knows that, I like certain workouts, or I bid more on RFPs than I do on RFQs. It knows that I run a YouTube channel. It knows a lot of things, right? Whatever I prompt it, it will focus on what I have been prompting in the past. And your prompts are saved in the left-hand corner. So if you want to go back to something, you can, right? So ChatGPT knows more about me than Claude does, but look at how it structured it. So, proven who we are. This needs to go on your capability statement. Proven logistics partner, serving Western New York with specialized expertise in government and public sector operations. What do we solve? Supply chain bottlenecks, warehousing constraints, emergency response logistics. What are my capabilities? What services and solutions am I trying to share and show the government that I can handle? Last mile delivery, multimodal shipping coordination. Multimodal is multiple different forms of transportation, like rail, dry, on the ground, air transportation, just multiple different ways to ship, for anyone who didn't know. And then warehousing and fulfillment. It literally broke this thing down in 30 seconds. I would move all of this information to a template on Canva. If you haven't seen that video, you might want to go check that one out. If you are here and you are not subscribed, like, subscribe, comment where you are from in the chat. Masterclass is July 24th, okay, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time via Zoom, okay? There are 8 spots available, right? The link is in my description, and I will also put it in this chat, okay? Because government contracting can be successful for you. You need a strategy and a system to be able to put in place, and someone to show you who understands how to properly win a contract, right? I know a lot of people are frustrated with reading. I keep hearing that over and over. Reading a contract can sometimes be tough because there is a lot of words, regulations, rules, and things we don't understand, right? I'm not perfect. Like, I am not perfect. I'm learning every single day. I promise you I am. Like, even when I do my lives, it's sometimes I learn, right? I don't have all of the answers, but ChatGPT does, Claude AI does, right? And if you prompt it correctly, you will be successful in this space. Okay. Another thing, if you're seeing documents, I have a bid decision checklist. If you're in the masterclass, you will get that checklist for free. But here's something to think about, right? If you open up a bid document and you see it's your first time putting a proposal together and you see a 200-page document, that might be a bid that you might want to walk away from. That might be a little bit too much for you to handle, because I believe really that anything is possible for you, but strategically understanding that maybe a 200-page document is not the route you want to take. Do you want to go local, state, or federal? Do you want to be in your backyard helping provide solutions, or do you want to help the state and the governor, or do you want to go federal and deal with big rules and regulations? This is the best advice I can give you. The bigger problems you solve, the bigger cash out. If you provide small solutions, it's going to be a small payout. If you provide big solutions, big problems, you have answers to big problems, there will be a big payout. If you have answers to small problems, there will be a small payout. It is okay 100% for you to start small. Contracts will become more familiar. You will start repping it out, seeing contracts over and over and over again. Then you will be able to move up to mid-size. then to the bigger contracts. If you try to pull a big contract, it can discourage you, right? 200 pages, all of these FAR rules and regulations that you don't understand, it can become intimidating, okay? I believe in whatever you are trying to accomplish. And I'm going to tell you that because I wish someone would have said that to me, right? I believe in whatever you're trying to accomplish in this government contracting because I don't think people hear that enough, right? I don't think that people understand that this is very possible for you, okay? You need to get around people who believe in you and who are rooting for you overall because this can work out for you. I promise you it can, right? And it's not about the masterclass or the $97. It's the fact that there's an outcome behind the masterclass, and the outcome is winning a government contract. I am so proud of you for even coming on these lives or even trying to learn anything about this space, right? It shows that you care and you want to make a change in your life because government contracting is a big space. It is not for everyone, it is for the one percenters, the people who can move mountains, right? The people who can stay consistent and keep going. But I don't think that enough people hear that I'm rooting for you and I'm proud of you. The fact that you come on here on at night, you do research, the fact that you're investing in courses and classes, the fact that you're interested is a blessing, right? There's blessing in the pressure. Whatever pressure you are going through, it's a blessing. Okay. Now, I don't know what you're going through, but I know that you can conquer this. And I know that you're an overcomer. One thing I know about y'all is y'all are overcomers. There is nothing that has came and stepped in your way that you have not overcame, right? There's so many things that have tried to knock you down and it didn't work. It didn't work because you're still here, right? You still woke up this morning. God, gosh, I got this pool here. I got a lot going on here, baby, but I'm serious, okay? I believe in you. And I think that this can work out for you if you don't do this self sabotaging thing. I'm an overcomer, and so are you. Things that were meant to knock you down and literally elbow you and put you in a dark corner, you have came out of. Things that the devil was trying to take you out and it did not work, right? There's a purpose behind that. Thank God for the pressure because you have to be able to understand that beautiful diamonds are made under pressure. A diamond cannot be made unless there is a immense force of pressure. So anytime something is going wrong in your life, you have to thank God for the pressure because it's pushing you somewhere where it's going to be uncomfortable. I get it. It's going to be tough. But if you stick with one thing and you give it your all, there is no way it cannot work out. I've never seen anybody stick with something 100% every day, rep it out for months and days and weeks at a time, and it not work out for them. They gave it 100% every day, and that might look different every day for you. Okay, you're not going to be perfect, you're not going to be consistent every day, but the fact that you are here shows you're an overcomer. Whatever was said against you that was meant to break you, it did not work out. And there is a reason behind that. There is something bigger on the other side for you. Okay? It's easy for me to tell you fear is not real, right? That's too cliche for me, right? It's not real. But what I will tell you is that on the other side of fear is the most beautiful things that you will ever see. Once you Overcome the fear and stop talking yourself out of a life-changing situation. You can hit $100,000 profit on a contract in the next 30, 60, 90 days, and your life can change forever. The money's already set aside for you. You don't need me to tell you that, right? But I'm going to anyways, because these are things that I wish people would have said to me. A lot of what I'm telling you is what I told myself. Okay? You can do this, right? There's going to be nights when you're like, why am I doing this? I talked about a video, 7 deep levels of why. You need to figure out why you're here, right? Understand why you want to do this and why you, what is the value that you see here and why are you in this space? Is it to buy a dream car? Is it to pay off your home? Is it to take your grandma and grandpa on a trip to the Bahamas where they've never been before? Do you have medical expenses? Do you have someone in the family who can use some financial help? Right? These are all things that you have to think about in the government contracting space. It can literally change your life. Putting together one proposal and hitting on that proposal shows that you can execute, shows that you can put a proposal together, shows that you have the confidence to get it done, and it also shows that you are a winner. You're not going to hit every single contract. All of them are not going to be a win. So have a conversation with yourself from the beginning and understand every single thing you touch in government contracting is not going to be a win, but it will be an open door. Something that you lose, that you lost yesterday, could be a potential networking opportunity 4 weeks from now, right? If I told you the blessings that have came from stepping out on fear, I'm going to tell you a story really quick, right? I'm not going to drag it out, but I do have a tendency of dragging things out a little bit, but I'm not going to. So, I was in a course recently that I have talked about, right? And I mentioned to them that I was starting a master class, right? And the girl who taught that class, what she did was now stepped away from 9 to 5 fully, right? Stepping out on faith, stepping away from the 9 to 5, stepping out on my dreams, stepping out on the rainbow. I don't care, right? I have enough faith for me to get through. So she comes to me a few days ago and she says, look, Deborah, we're looking to put a course together for RFPs and RFQs. We need someone to teach that course. And we're wondering if you're interested, right? We can all come together as a group. And I'm not going to share too much information on it because it was just a thought. But the fact that I was not in that space 12 months ago, I wouldn't have been the proper person to ask, right? Because I didn't know enough then. But the fact that I kept going and she knows what I've been through, she's watched me in her classes, she's helped me to get where I am. She now wants me to teach her students about RFPs, RFQs, and how to execute a contract. Right? So something that was, I graduated from this class 3 months ago. You know, they're about to have like a special thing that's coming up that's going to bring us all together again. So I've been in touch with the coordinator. And for her to say that to me literally brought tears to my eyes because now I'm able to teach people. Erica, what are you doing? You're knocking me behind you. Are you okay? Okay. You don't have to. You don't have to crawl, honey. Just crawling in the background. No, you don't. So those are things that I want to say, right? The doors that are going to open for you are blessings. The pressure that you're going through is a blessing. Like, I'm rooting for you. Okay? The fact that you have the courage and the understanding and you're taking the time to understand what government contracting is and how you can win in making investments, I think that that is phenomenal, right? It's better than not giving it any effort at all because it's not a get rich quick scheme. People think that. Like, a lot of people told me that about trucking. Oh, you could get rich real quick, get you some trucks, and then COVID came around, and next thing you know, things was not looking the same. And I never got rich off trucking. Okay, we never went from zero to $300,000. That happened in the government contracting space. Everything I share with you is based off of experience because I want you to see that you are worth it. I want you to understand that you can pick something up, you can work on it day and night, and see results because you are worth it. You are worth winning a government contract. It don't matter if it's a $5,000 profit or $1,000 profit, right? All that matters is that you got up and you tried, and you're going to have to try again and again and again. But I know that you deserve to win a contract, right? You deserve to step out on faith. The term bids and blessings is not a joke. That is how I operate my everyday life. I'm bidding on bids and I'm blessed. And when you mix the two, you got me, right? You watched the interview with Kizzy. I have never been more grateful to have that interview. But if I would have stopped 6 months ago, that interview would not have existed. If I would have stopped 5 months ago, that interview would have never existed. I'm talking thoughts of having thoughts of her interviewing me, having visions about a check that wasn't real. It's all things that I manifested. You have to believe in yourself, right? Take a step out on fear, because I noticed that I started bidding on government contracts when I was frustrated. I had enough, right? I was just to the point where I'm like, I can't take no more. Something got to change. I got the laptop out. I went to ChatGPT. I started typing real fast, like 90 miles an hour. And from there, I started putting proposals together. I told you the first four, loss. But guess what? They were not losses, they were lessons from up top. Okay. Because every single thing that I learned on those contracts, I took it, applied it, adjusted it, learned some more, adjusted it, learned some more, applied it, learned some more. And that is how I got here. All right. So the masterclass, July 24th. Before you come on the masterclass, I want to have a conversation with you, right? I want you to put your email in the chat and I want to talk beforehand. So if you're interested in the masterclass, put your email in the chat. Okay. And once you do that, we will put something on the schedule. I believe we only have about 8-9 days left until the masterclass starts, but I would like to get in touch with you and talk beforehand because I want to understand. I was talking to a client today. I want you to get the value of what you're going to get in the masterclass. But my overall outcome is to get you to start bidding and ultimately win a contract. Whether it's in your backyard, whether it's federal, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The fact that you want to start to bid on government contracts is good enough. But now you have to apply the work. You have to start putting the proposals together. And if you're worried about RFPs, put an RFQ together. It's a request for quote. It's a price. You don't need a lot of documents. You just have to talk to subcontractors, provide a price, put the price together so that the margin makes sense, okay? Because we're not doing nothing in the red, only in the green. Okay. And then submit it. Okay. So a lot of county work is RFQs. That's where you're going to find most of them at. Another thing, IFB, that's an invitation for bid. That's also just a price. Okay, so let's look here, right? We're going to ask Claude AI, what is the difference between an RFP, IFB, RFQ, what's another one? RFP, IFB, RFQ. Oh, what's the other one? Oh, RFI. and RFI. Break it down, simple and easy. So request for proposal. They're looking for a comprehensive solution. Let me break this down. They are going to, when you see words like evaluation, this is how the government's going to look at your proposal. They're going to evaluate it from their eyes. They're going to look for technical approach, past performance, and price combined. So when you're seeing RFPs, this is what they're looking for. All right. And this is what I mean by RFP. They're looking for a detailed technical proposal. If you don't want to put all of that together, don't bid on an RFP. Bid on something small. But I came to a point where I was like, okay, I'm bidding too small. I already won with Erie County. I got to start bidding on 1 year's worth of work so I can have 1 year worth of income coming in. Right? I'm not going to keep bidding small. I've been doing it for the last 6, 7 contracts. It's time to move forward. When that time comes, you will trust yourself enough to know, okay, I understand this process now. Let me move forward. Okay. I know that you're brave enough to take that leap on yourself. Best for now, RFPs are complex services, professionals. Example, design and implement and a new logistics management system. That can be very complicated for somebody who's trying to go for a contract right away. Right? It's your first government contract that you're bidding on. You might want to stay away from RFPs, and that's okay. You don't have to go over something, you don't have to bid on something that's complex, right? And then invitation for bid. Purchasing clearly defines goods and services where the lowest price wins. What they're looking for, price is a primary factor. The lowest responsive bid wins, which means the lowest price wins the contract. The response is straightforward, bid with pricing and basic qualifications, and it's best for commodities, construction, and then an example is to supply 500 office chairs meeting these exact specifications. That's a better option for you to start with, right? All they're looking for, they're evaluating you on a price. You connect with a subcontractor who sells chairs in that specific area that can meet those specs, and then you submit it. You don't have to go for an RFP right away. It's okay. Like you can start with an IFB. RFO, I don't remember putting that in there. I meant to put RFQ. RFI is a request for information. What the government will do is they will put out an RFI to see if they're basically doing market research and gathering information. So it's not really a contract, it's just something that they're looking for. And they want to see if there's services providers in the area who can help them with this project, because they want to see if at least 2 to 3 people would potentially be interested in bidding on that product. So if you look right here, I want to turn that to RFQ. Our IFB, price driven. RFO, don't know what that means. RFP is the best value, technical excellence. RFI, information sharing only, right? Your best bet, let's put RFQ in there too. Oh, it just put FQ. Okay, RFQ. This is why I like RFQs. I like both, but I'm really an RFP girl. But it didn't always start out that way. That first container contract that I won was an RFQ. They had a specification for the container they wanted. I put a price together, signed some documents, moved forward, and I was awarded the contract, right? There was no like fancy put this here, put that there, explain to us how you're going to deliver it. So RFQ is seeking pricing for specific goods or services with well-defined requirements. Less formal than an RFP, IFB, right? Price focused, quick turnaround, clear specifications. Typical response requires pricing, delivery timeline, basic company qualifications, compliance with specs. You see how that's so much easier than putting an actual detailed proposal together? They just want a price. And you meet the specs, and you break down the price and you give them basic things about your company. Where's your company from? How many employees do you have? Sometimes they don't even ask that. It's best used for commercial off the shelf items, standard services with a clear scope, repeat purchases, lower dollar value. So, once again, Claude AI is shining, right? It's telling us what's best to bid on. An example of an RFQ: 100 laptops meeting the technical specs. RFQ versus other solicitations. Right here. RFQ is less formal, often used for smaller purchases. RFQ versus RFP. RFQ focuses on price. RFP evaluates technical approach and qualifications. That is exactly what I explained to you. RFQs are easier to go after. RFQs often have the fastest award timelines, making them a great opportunity for quick wins and cash flow, especially for straightforward logistics services like yours, right? So that's what I mean when I'm talking about. Oh, hi, honey. Moonrock, you have to share your well, first of all, thank you. I am so glad that you are here. Welcome. And thank you for the kind words with Kizzy. It really was a blessing to be able to do that. And I go live every night at 9 o'clock, but tonight was a little bit different because my daughter was in a championship softball game. So share your email with me or a way that I can contact you so that we can chat. But thank you for being here. So make sure you subscribe. I go live every night at 9 p.m., usually between half hour, 45 minutes to an hour. And I'm glad you're here. So thank you. I appreciate you. But yeah, so tonight I taught you how to use AI, right? And in the master class, I'll go more in depth with it so that you can understand how to read bids better, right? We need to connect. You're in Buffalo? I'm gonna go to Tim Hortons. I need to stop with the Tim Hortons, all right? But I would love to go to Tim Hortons with you and definitely have a conversation. Definitely exciting to know that you're from Buffalo. But ChatGPT is your best friend, okay? It's your friend that never gets tired. It's your friend that doesn't burn out, doesn't crash out, doesn't ask for much, right? ChatGPT and Claude AI are here to help you in multiple different ways, all across the board, whether it's SAM.gov, capability statements, responding to RFQs or RFPs, communicating with subcontractors, or organizing back office tasks, right? Super effective tool for you to move faster because the minute you have a thought, you got to move quick, right? The minute you have a thought, you got to move quick. And guess who can help you do that? ChatGPT can help you do that, right? So utilize it even if you pay for it or you don't. You see what happened to me. It booted me basically because I used the 10. I used the free plan limit and then I moved to Claude AI. So what? There's multiple different AI tools that you can use. There's so many cool ones out there. There's even AI tools that create images. Like literally will create an image for you. You can prompt it in the chat to say, create me a picture of a woman on a boat with the moon shining down on her, glistening off of the water. However you prompt it, it will give you an image. You can even create videos with AI, right? So get friendly with it, okay? Because it can cut the way you read a proposal in half. No one has time to read a 30, 40-page document, right? And if you hand off a contract for your attorney to read, it could take like 3 to 4 to 5 days for you to get that contract back, for them to give you the go and say, I love Tim Hortons too. What side of town are you on? Is it east, west, North Buffalo, South Buffalo? I'm in the North Buffalo area, but definitely connect with me. Let me put my email in the chat for you. I love that all of you watch the Kizzy video. I absolutely love that. All right, that's my email. So tonight we talked about ChatGPT. If you have questions, hashtag replay in the comments. Okay, I am very active on YouTube. I will respond. Whatever you are thinking that is good, think bigger. Okay, I will talk to you soon. I love you and I believe in you. Bye.